microphone. خلاص. Kareem, I think it's working, huh? شكرا جزيلا. I am so sorry we had some issue with the microphone. شكرا جزيلا. I am having your feedback. Thank you very much. So now it works. Okay, so we can start. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so again, so السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وشكرا لحضوركم معنا اليوم. So good afternoon, and thank you very much for your participation in this awareness session. The awareness session will take around 1 hour, and it is mainly focusing on the internal grants with a 30-minute presentation, around 30-minute presentation, and 30 minutes question and feedback. So I will ask you later, inshallah. If you have any question, just raise your hand. I will see you here on my window, and then I will open, or Kareem can open the microphone for you to ask your question in English or باللغة العربية. I will have my colleagues with me, and inshallah we will do our best to answer your questions. So it will take 30 minutes this exchange معاكم. في البداية أدعو الأخت ماها النعيمي من قسم ما قبل المنح لإعطائنا لمحة سريعة على المعلومات المتاحة في مدونة مكتب دعم شؤون البحث. تفضلي أخت ماها, if you are hearing me. And I will share with you probably the screen to make Maha using the screen. Okay, just one second, Maha.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. I can hear you, Doctor. We just need the screen.
Okay, and I hear you very well. Alas, I'm sharing the screen now. Okay, inshallah will appear few seconds. You don't see it, Maha?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'm changing the screen. It will inshallah appear. Let me check. Yes, now it's here. Just make it a little bigger. Screen 1, screen 2. Yes, now it will work. خلاص, I made the chair. So do you see it, Maha?
Yes.
Okay. So you can start. شكرا جزيلا.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نرحب بكم في فعاليتنا اليوم. سنقدم لكم نظرة سريعة على مدونة مكتب دعم البحث العلمي. تعتبر المدونة منصة أساسية لنشر المعلومات والأخبار الخاصة بمكتب دعم البحث. نرى في هذه الشاشة دورة حياة مقترح البحث الخاصة بكم. فمن اليسار نبدأ المرحلة الأولى وهي التقديم، ومن ثم التقييم، ومن ثم على اليمين مرحلة العقود، وفي الأسفل مرحلة المتابعة. كما إذا ذهبنا details أو المعلومات الإضافية، سنجد هناك البريد الإلكتروني للتواصل مع كل مرحلة من مراحل دورة حياة المقترح. تتضمن المدونة كذلك العديد من الأقسام، ومن أهمها القسم الذي على اليسار هو قسم الأخبار التي يتضمن آخر الأخبار الخاصة بالمنح الداخلية والخارجية والعالمية. وعلى اليمين هنالك بعض الإحصائيات الخاصة بالمنح. وإذا ذهبنا في الأسفل هنالك أيضاً رمز الأسئلة المتكررة اللي هو ال FAQ. ستجدون هناك بعض الأسئلة التي ممكن أن تجاوب عنها من خلال هذا الزر. إذا ذهبنا في الأسفل سنجد هناك أيضاً الرزنامة التي يتم تحديثها بالإعلانات ومواعيد التقديم. وفي الوسط ستجدون هناك بعض الإحصائيات والاطلاع على المنح الفائزة السابقة. في الأسفل أيضاً تجدون فيديو توضيحي للبرامج وطرق سير العمل في مكتب دعم شؤون البحث بالعربي وباللغة الإنجليزية. وفي الأسفل أيضاً بعض المعلومات الإضافية عن قطاع البحث والدراسات العليا، ومن ثم تجدون أقسام المكتب وطرق التواصل. عندنا على اليسار مكتب ما قبل المنح ومكتب العقود ومكتب ما بعد المنح وطريقة التواصل والبريد الإلكتروني والموظفين. في الأسفل أيضاً تجدون برامج المنح الداخلية. البرامج التي لدينا كانت من قبل وتمت إضافة 3 برامج جديدة، وهي الباحث الزائر وأولويات البحث التحويلية وما بعد الدكتوراه. كما أنوه أن التقديم مفتوح لجميع المنح الداخلية وسيتم الإعلان عن المواعيد النهائية للتقديم قريباً. في الأسفل أيضاً المنح الخارجية أو منح صندوق القطري لرعاية البحث العلمي. وفي الأسفل أيضاً معلومات إضافية عن الأولويات البحثية وأهداف التنمية المستدامة وبعض المواقع لمساعدتكم على الأبحاث. فهذه هي المدونة بشكل عام.
شكرا جزيلا أخت ماها على التفاصيل. So I will go a little bit in details in some sections. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go in details everywhere, but at least you will have the blog and you will have time, inshallah, later to go through it. And if you have any questions, so do not hesitate to ask us during this session or after this session. If you have any issues, so just send us email or as we said, so you have now all the emails, all the persons, and it's very clear, very transparent, so you can contact us and we'll do our best to answer you. So I go back just to the life cycle of your project. I think mainly for the new colleagues who are joining the university or who joined the university recently, it's very important to understand how we are dealing with the life cycle of your project. So as Maha said, you submit first, then we evaluate. Then if your project is dealing with collaboration with international partners or with industry, you need to sign contract. So there is a process, very specific process for that. And then when your project starts, so we have the follow-up. If I click on this, or if you click on this, so you will go a little bit to details, explaining for you step by step what you should do. So definitely in the submission phase, you have to select the grants first. So we are making a broadcast of all our internal and external. So if you are interested in one grant, so you have to go and start writing your proposal at the earliest possible to avoid any delay. Check also if you need what we call the technology readiness level or the SRL from the social sciences point of view. Social readiness levels are required if they are required. So then you need to comply with this. If they are not required, then it's easier. You don't need to go for this. Obtain the partner commitment letter, for example, if any, for some international collaborations like the IRCC, the International Research Collaboration Co-Fund, you need a letter signed by your partner. If you are working with the industry, you need also a letter. So collect these at the earliest possible. Then prepare your budget according to the template that you will have on the website of the call. And then you are ready to hopefully to submit your proposal. So this is really the first thing that you should do if you want really to submit, and you will have all the information, by the way, from the pre-award. So we will make the announcement, the broadcasting everywhere, even on the blog, and then we will give you all the templates on the website. So the broadcast will guide you to the website, and then you will have all the templates, all the guidelines, etc. As soon as you submit, so we are in the evaluation process. So we will make first the pre-screening, means that we see all the eligibility criteria, and we will tell you if you have any issue, we'll come back to you to say that you did not comply on this, so you passed, not passed, we need this, etc. It depends on the accuracy of the issues. Then we go for a technical review. Most of our programs, there are just few who don't go through this, but most of our programs go through an international review. We have 2 reviewers per project, and at the end, if it is successful or not successful, we will send you actually these 2 reviews for your project. If it's successful, you will go to the post-award preparation, and we'll give you the date where you should start. And if it's not successful, at least the feedback from the international reviewers is really very important for you to enhance your application for the next call, etc. Then we make the result announcement. If your project has an international collaboration or industry collaboration, you need to go and work on the contract. So my colleagues from the contract department, legal department will send you the necessary information. They start working on the contract that you have with your partner, and they will seek your help if necessary, if the partner is not answering, if there is a delay, etc., etc. And then definitely if your project starts, then you are in the follow-up phase. And I invite here Dr. Abdel Ali, who is with us today. He is the manager of the post-award, to probably explain a little bit this phase. تفضل دكتور.
شكرا جزيلا دكتور عبد العزيز، ومرحبا بالجميع في اليوم التوعوي لقطاع البحث ومكتب دعم شؤون البحث في الجامعة. إن شاء الله حظ موفق للجميع في قادم التقديمات على المشاريع المفتوحة حاليا. وطبعا keep in mind الكونتاكت ديتيلز. إذا كان عندكم استفسارات بعد اليوم، أيضا يمكن يعني التواصل معنا عن طريق الهاتف أو بالمجيء مباشرة إلى المكتب أو عن طريق الإيميلات الموجودة في المدونة. حاليا دكتور عبد العزيز احنا في قطاع البوست أوورد. We manage basically the follow-up. The follow-up entails 2 things. So we have what we call the project activation. We initiate the project. We provide you with the grant number, and we inform you that the grant has been activated, and now you can start spending your funds. And throughout the process, we help you spend your money in the way you have decided the budget for your grant. The grant is internal or external, will be managed by So we will support you in spending the money. One really important aspect of expenditure in a grant is hiring researchers. So you can hire researchers that are, for example, students, your undergraduate, your postgraduate students. So we have possibility for them to be recruited. You can hire research assistants and postdocs. So research assistants, holders of a BSc or MSc, postdoc holders of a PhD degree, and you can hire them either as a part-time or full-time through a job offer process. We have policies in place, and the process of hiring can be found by clicking on any of these icons here, where it will take you to slides that will detail each aspect of post-award management. So we also support you to spend the money buying, for example, equipment or reagents for your experimental work, and get reimbursed or directly pay the suppliers. So there is several procedures for that. Some of them are online, some of them are paper-based after providing us with original invoices. There is also an aspect that is related to travel. So you can travel on your publication, on your grants, if it is allowed on the type of grant you are being awarded. So there are procedures for that, whether you are applying for a grant through internal or external grants. And finally, we have also another role as a post-award is not really to look after the financial aspects of your award. We are also responsible for the monitoring of progress. So you will be contacted by our team to submit a progress report for your internal grant or external grant based on the requirements of each program. So every 6 months or every year. And then finally, there will be a process of submitting a final technical report and a closeout of the grant, which are also managed by our department. Another aspect that is not directly related to grant management, but our department currently monitors also or processes applications for publication reward. If you click on the icon that you can see here at the bottom, you will be taken to step-by-step process of how to claim a publication reward through the system for all your published papers where you are author and affiliated to Qatar University. So we are not really, for the sake of time, we're not going through the details. If you click on any of these icons, they're going to take you to a detailed PowerPoint presentation that will summarize the key points with links also to the forms, to the online forms, the paper forms when needed, and a few more details. Really, we want you to use as much as possible this blog as your hub that will take you to the various bits that you need for the application and subsequently the management of your funds. I think, Dr. Abdulaziz, that's all I wanted to mention here. So to leave some time for questions and answers from colleagues.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdulali. Thank you very much again for this important information. So as you said, so here we don't have time actually to go in details, otherwise it takes hours, but just for the sake of the example. So if you see here, for example, as said Dr. Abdulali, if you click here on this, it takes you actually to more details, to slides or to another website where you can have all the information related to what was mentioned in details. So again, about the financial issues, about the travel, for example, here, about the process itself, budget change, etc., etc. So we don't have time to go there, but please go through this. It's very important that you understand that at each step you have some information to know. Same if I click here on the TRL, I told you about this, so it takes you to another page to explain for you, because we need you, for example, to put what is the level of TRL. So here you have a definition of all the TRL things and also all the societal readiness levels, because in the call we will tell you that your project, for example, your proposal should be at least at SRL 4, for example, or 3, or TRL 5. So here you can have the answer to your question about the definition. So anyway, so here I think it's we are doing our best, of course, to enhance the information. Probably some information is duplicated or missing. So now we are really focusing on putting the right information in the right place here. So, and I really thank my colleagues about all the efforts that they are doing to collect the right information here. Yeah, I have to go back now because I'm making the presentation. We are making the presentation through the blog itself. It's not slides. So this is another section also that is really important for you. If you are looking for new proposals or outside the university, for example. So as soon as we receive information, we will put this in the news section on the left, as Maha explained. So you will have also just to click and you will have the information. So some of the calls are in Arabic, some are in English, so some are in French. So we are just putting a link to the information that we think that it is important for you, because we want you definitely to use our grants, but also we want you to go and bring additional budgets and additional grants from outside. So of course, this is not sufficient. You may have also information from your side. So please just use this as a news section. If you have also from your side some links to external grants and you want us to make this public here to the colleagues and the students of the university, so please do not hesitate. We will be very, very happy to enrich this section with the information that you will give us. So I will not click on these examples, but you have many of them, and you have more news here, so it will take you to another detailed page. So we are doing our best to update this according to the information that we are receiving. Maha told you about the FAQ section. I will just click on it. This is frequently asked questions. This is really very important because we are receiving a lot of questions by email, by etc. So we thought that this is the best way for someone who doesn't know about something, just to ask the question here and to have the answer. For example, where can I find KU internal grant submission and award project data? So here it takes you to the section related to the submission and to the etc. Where can I find KU integral, the statistics, for example, the TRL, SRL, what is the definition, or what can I find sustainable? So all these are basic questions, but we can understand that some colleagues, mainly those who are coming to the university, they don't have this information ready. So you just click somewhere and you will have it. For example, here, SRL, TRA, it will take you to the section that I explained before. Where can I find QNRF grants data? So this is also something important. If you need to know who got the grants in the NPRP 14 or 13, etc. So you may just click here. It takes you to QNRF site where you have the information, and that's really very helpful. So this is just an example, but you have other things. You have on the right here some facts. You have also the map of the international collaboration that we have through our internal grants. You have the calendar, so this is also important. So you have the calendar, making the most recent information that you may need. For example, here the student grant, the second cycle, so I will talk about this later. The internal grant award announcement, etc. So these are just the calendar to give you the information, and you can see here S means submission and A means announcement, and you have more information if you take here. Maha talked about the submission awards and the statistics. So if you click on the submission, so you will have cycle by cycle and program by program, all the submissions and all the awarded projects. So this is also important If you wish to know in the university who is working on that or that topic, etc. So you can just click on the awarded projects and you will have the information, so the LPIs, the colleges, the pillars, and even the project title. So probably it will help you collaborating in the future with this colleague. And I think it's very important. And it's also important for people from outside the university to know who is working on which topic. So because we are receiving many questions about from people requesting to find people, etc., in the university working on that topic. So it's very easy for them also to see this here. So this is public information that we will be happy and proud to enhance and to update cycle by cycle. So as you can see here, so if you click, you have the information. Then in the other section here called statistics, if you click, you will have also some information, some statistics related cycle by cycle. This is mainly, for example, the submissions by pillar, the submission by colleges and centers, etc. So it will give you also and gives the colleges some information about how the grants are evolving and how the contribution and participation of the centers and colleges is evolving. So also here we are making it right now in a static way. Sorry. Later we will put the possibility for you to just click on a button and to have this in Excel. So the idea is to have the possibility to import this at your level. Again, you have here two video, and we will, inshallah, in the future enhance them and update them definitely every year. And we will probably put other video that will be interesting for you. Mainly here, if you click on it, I will not click, it will take time, but if you click on the one in English or in Arabic, it will explain for you program by program all the details, really all the details. So please try to look to this to see if there is any change in the codes, etc. You have some information about the outcomes, either through the Clio Research magazine or the newsroom, for example. So here it's a kind of shortcut, so no need to look at it in the website of the university, just through the blog you have it. Here you have just a section related to our departments, just to explain who we are and what we are doing, because for new incomers to the university, it's very important to understand who is doing what. If you click on staff directory here, it takes you to the website of the university where you have really all the details. So here you can even see who is doing what. So if you have a question related to, I don't know, handling the internal grants, so you have our colleague in the post award. If you have a question related to I don't know, the recruitment, for example, so you can contact directly Summer, and because we have the emails and the phone numbers. So this, if you click here, you have our structure chart, just to explain a little bit the structure of the office. And this is very important. You have here, if you click on Open Now, here you will have the website directly of each column. If I go to the IRCC, for example, so you will have here the column with the timeline, documents needed. So if I click on the timeline, it will tell me that the submission deadline is in March 10. And if I click here on the documents, you will have all the documents that are needed. So please read the guidelines because it explains exactly all the processes. As you may see here, for example, I will not go in details, but here you can discover that we have the track 1, which is a call for projects like every year. And you have the institutional collaboration, which is track 2. And we are having one specific call this year between the CD and IRCC. And if you come here, it will explain for you all the details. The IRCC, the high impact, the collaborative, the concept, the national capacity students, all these are regular programs. Every year we are opening them. And we opened 3 new ones this year. One is postdoc, one is transformative, and one is regarding the visiting scholars, etc. So if you go here, for example, to the tier 2P, you will find all the information on this new call with the guidelines, templates, in English but also باللغة العربية. And you have always the information on when to submit, etc. We don't put here the system, the submission system, purposely, because we have a submission system, of course. So you have the program contact if you have any issue, but we put the link to the submission system in the broadcast. So please check the email that we are sending, because in that email, we are reminding the name of the programs, the deadlines, and also the submission system. This is just for security issues, because in the past, we put here the submission system, and then we receive a lot of let's say, fake projects or things like that. So we don't need that. So to be sure that we are sending you only to you the submission system. So we prefer to submit it by the email, the broadcast. So please look to the broadcast. You will see which system you have to use for your submission. Then the external grants. So if you click here, it takes you to the different external grants, mainly here QNRF ones. And if you have, you need more information on the definition of our pillars, research pillars at Qatar University. So we made a link here to them, so you can access and see clearly what is, for example, if I click here, so it takes you to the definition, but it takes you also to the different sections of the priorities. You have core research priorities, you have transformative research priorities, etc. And this is very important to know, because for the transformative one, for example, we have a specific call for this. As I told you, if you go here to the T2RP, so this one is transformative research priorities readiness program. Okay, so this is really related to the transformative areas, and you need to submit your project within those fields. It is not generic to all the pillar fields. Yes, then, as Maha said, so you have the link to the sustainable development goals, because few programs that we are opening are related to these SDGs. So it is important for you to understand all this, and also the tools that you may use. We ask you, for example, to go on to use Authenticate and to submit a version through Authenticate as a proof, etc. So you have the tool, you have just to click here. If you need to have the other information, for example, from QSpace, etc., so you have it here. This is the information that we are having on the blog. Sorry, go back to the blog, I exit. Okay, so this is the blog that we wanted really that all the colleagues and the students know about the information in it. And I think we finished the presentation. Definitely the presentation is not really comprehensive, because it's limited to in the time, but please go through all the sections of the blog, and if you have any questions, so we will be ready. So we'll have now 30 minutes, more or less, or 25 minutes to have your questions. And again, if we don't answer all the questions now, so no worry, you can just send us emails later, and we'll be very happy to answer your questions. So let's start with any possible questions that we have from your side. As I said, please just raise your hand, so at least I will indicate to Karim to open the mic for you and to allow you to ask the question. Yes, I think we have one question from Dr. Ahmed Shouk. So please, Karim. Yeah, it is open, Doctor. Please go ahead.
And his colleague, just I would like to record my thank and gratitude for this great job. I think you make it very easy for our colleague in the universities. And this is a great idea, because we usually sometimes we look at the deadline and at the particular concerning certain grants, but I feel that this will help our colleague a great. just send us the hyperlink. We can distribute it to our faculties in different departments, or you send it from your part. But I would like to congratulate you for this great job you have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for your support. Yes, definitely. We are circulating actually the link in all the calls, the broadcast, and definitely it's also on our address when we send email, etc. So we have a link to it. I will also ask my colleagues to send it again, probably to all the associate deans and the director centers to be sure that we have the right link at all the levels. Thank you very much for your support. We have another question from Azieddin Al-Mahjoub. Thank you, Karim. تفضل. تفضلي. شكرا.
It answered a lot of the questions that I have in mind. I'm new to the university. I was wondering, is it possible to send the link for this blog or just to search for it in the database? This is one thing. The other thing, is it possible to access full prior grants from other colleagues in a certain discipline? Would that be possible?
Yes, so for the first question, yes, definitely. So the easiest way to find the blog, as I said, is to see the broadcasts that we are sending. We sent already, I think, last week and the week before, 2 broadcasts making the announcement of something. So it is always there. So now we are taking the habit to put this link everywhere because we wanted you to have it. Otherwise, one simple way to have it is really to go to the website. You go to the Office of Research Support, on the website of the university only. You type Office of Research Support, and you will find it there. So there is a small button called Blog on the main page. You just click on it, and it will take you here. The other question that you asked, very important question. It's related to the existing awards, etc., the grants. So if you come here in Submissions and Award, and you click on it, if you click on it, so you will have it here. So if you are looking for someone, for example, in cycle 3, who have been awarded the collaborative grant, so just here, you know that we have received 45 submissions and the awarded projects are here. So you can find him through the college of the center, through the pillar, or through the project, or through the name. In general, you don't know probably the name, so you look, for example, pillar by pillar. If you are in the social or health, for example, you look just to health, and you will see all the projects in health. Right now,
is this the full application?
You mean the full project? No. Here it's only the information related to the title, the person, etc. But you don't have here the full. Yes. Yeah, but we did not make public the full application. Yeah.
But I'm not sure if there are like any intellectual property involved in this, but I think this will help great deal. In my previous university, that was available, and it helped researchers, just understand the language, particularly those with little experience in getting grants. And since this is like from a legal perspective, I am an intellectual property lawyer. It's the property of the university. So if there are prior grants in my discipline, I would definitely benefit a lot from seeing them.
Right. This is a very good question, and to be honest, I am not able to answer this question. I will check with the legal and contracts colleagues and see how we can do this. Either at least we put the summary, for example, you click on the title and it gives you at least the summary and the details of the colleague, his email and etc. Or probably we'll check if all the intellectual property things, and we may probably make public all the projects that doesn't have any issue. I will look with this to this with my colleagues. Definitely, it's a very good question.
Yeah. Rest assured, from intellectual property perspective, this work is done during the work at Qatar University.
Right.
And I wouldn't be offended if my application is put to the public, because it's the property of the university. The things that I've done here I mean, it's as the course in my employment. I don't think that that this is against the law. Anyway, thank you very much for this.
Yeah, thank you. No, really, as
Dr.
I said,
Abdulaziz?
yes.
Yes, I would like to add something about the question that we had. In case that you want to get familiar to our applications and how to fill them out, then with every cycle we suggest that the submitter actually gets in contact with other experienced professors in QU that has already submitted grants to get to know the parts of the application and how to fill them out. And we also suggest that each professor gets in contact with their Office of Research and Graduate Studies in their college, so the Office of the Associate Dean, to guide them more about what are the trends in research and what could be done and what are the resources available. I think so far, because what we have on the blog is just the application, so it's not fully developed and not yet published. So I think adding publications will be a great idea, but the application itself, it can be viewed if you get in contact with the LPI, of course, and they agree. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maha, about this complimentary answer. And definitely the first part of the answer, the question of the colleague is also important, which is having a link with those who with those who are having active or preceding applications to see who is working on what, and probably be in contact with them and continue making collaboration with them, etc. So I think we have two answers here, and definitely, inshallah, we will work on this. Thank you very much for your question. We have 2-3 additional questions that I see. So we have Dr. Haneen Abdul-Razzaq. So Kareem, please, if you can open to, thank you very much. It's open. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to start by thanking you for gathering all the key information that we have been asking for a very long time. And this website is very beneficial, and I think that the grant statistics table will open the door even for future collaborations. So I would like to thank you first for preparing this website. My question is regarding the starting dates for the grants. So on the website for the transformative research project grant and for the postdoc grant, you mentioned that they will start in fall. So in which month exactly?
Yeah, thank you. Very good question. So here also you can use the blog to access to this information. If you go, for example, to this one, transformative, it takes you directly to the website of the call itself. So you have small description, you have timelines here. So for example, here submission deadline is March 10th, okay? And it gives you all the information about the budget, etc. And if you open the guidelines, it gives you more details on the requirement, on anything you need. It explains also the evaluation process and more than that. So it is in Arabic and English. But please, again, we are giving this in an email, a broadcast email. I think, Maha, you may correct me, but it is this week, right? That it will be sent. Because, you know, the broadcast, I mean, it follows a very specific process, and it will appear after 1 or 2 steps. So I think this information about the deadlines is already sent, and it will appear. I mean, you will receive it in your email, if I'm not mistaken, by tomorrow or by Sunday maximum.
Yes.
But it is there. Yes, yeah. Because it was sent for broadcasting, and of course there is a process that we have to follow to make the information publicly available. But again, I mean, it's if you are using the blog, it's very simple. Just select the call that you want, just click on it, and you will have all the information here. For example, for visiting professors, visiting fellow, scholar, and research programs. So here you have also the same. So globally, what I can tell you here, so you have two kind of calls. Let me go back here, but you will receive the detailed information by broadcast. You have the regular ones, you know, the real big grants like IRCC, high impact, collaborative. All this, it will be on 10th of March. We try to harmonize and have one date for all the calls. Then the calls who are related to individual applications like postdoc, like a visiting colleague, like a student, etc. These we tried also to put one date, which is the 3rd of March. At least, I mean, we have only 2 dates. We cannot put all of them the same deadline because it's impossible for us to manage everything in one day if you have any issue. So we try to have 2 dates, one for the grants and one for any grant related to individual application. A postdoc is related to one person. A visiting colleague is one person, etc. So yeah, but anyway, globally, so just click here and you will have all the details. We have, is it okay, Hanim? Ah, sorry, you are muted now. Okay. Okay, so next question. Ocon. Okay, so please go ahead. Okay, it's open now.
Program under the Deanship of General Studies. And
Sorry, say it again. Say it again because you are muted actually.
Oh, okay. Hello, I am from the Foundation Program, Department of under the Deanship of General Studies. Myself and my colleague Ahmed are interested in submitting a proposal. In your checkboxes and under colleges, we are not listed. So my worry is when we submit a proposal, would that proposal stand as much chance as those from the colleges of medicine, art and science, engineering? So that's my worry and my question.
Very, very good question also. So we will check actually in the submission system if the foundation is there, because, you know, actually before you submit, you need actually to select the entity where you are working. And then from there, you have a lot of information. So we will check because depending on the program, actually, if you are student or you are faculty or researcher, etc., there are different conditions. So, but there is no difference, I mean, between the entities of the university. I mean, as soon as you are there on the system and you are accepted to submit, so definitely it's a competitive process, and as soon as your project is accepted, I mean, for submission, it will be exactly the same process. We send the projects to external reviewers. We wait for them to send us the reviewers. We have a committee here to see the ranking based on those reviewers and all the information. That's it. But let me just check if the foundation is there in the process, and yeah, and we will take care about this. Okay, so another question from Alauddin. Yeah, you are unmuted.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Abdel Aziz, Dr. Abdel. Brilliant website, very informative, and it's like really beneficial session. So thank you so much, first of all. My question is related to the transformative initiative, which again, I thank you very much for that. And I would like to, because to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time to launch such a type of a grant for like translational or transformation of
Yes.
findings from lab to reality, let's say clinic or industry or the market, let's say general. So could you just
Right.
elaborate more on that? Because when I went through the guideline, I'm really interested in that. I noticed that kind of maybe the requirement or the KPIs of achieving the goals of such grants is to like publications in Q1 and Q2, and by definition, like such grants is directed toward like translational into a product. So am I getting it right? So if you could elaborate on that and enlightening me and my colleagues will be really helpful in this direction. Again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, yes, definitely. This is also a very interesting question. Definitely, this program is focusing on the translational or transformational sciences, let's say, and that have been defined actually at the university level. So the idea here is really to support those fields to be sure that we have outcomes in those fields. So this program looks to the high impact. I'm sure that you know about the regular ones. You know, we have collaborative, we have high impact. So we need an impact. An impact, definitely. This is a research project. We need publications as all the projects, and there are some minimum KPIs in terms of publications and students, trainings, and this and this. But we need also, and we are focusing really on, as you said, the prototype technologies, etc. So I mean that. Definitely, publication is there, and we cannot avoid this because it is a research program, and definitely we expect you to publish. It's not probably the same expectation like the high impact in terms of publication, because here, as you said, you are really expected to have a prototype or to explain to the reviewers that you are really making high TRL level. As we see here, it's at least 5. But the expectation is also to have publications, as I said, because any work you need also to publish it and to advertise on it and to show your outcome. So, but again, you will see it actually in the application form itself. Let me try to see if I can open it. And actually, oops, sorry, it's not here. Yes, in the application template itself. So here it gives you a little bit the KPIs that we are expecting. Exactly. So here's some, if I remember, you will have some information, a table. Yes, here. The expected outcomes, as I said, so the targeted TRL or SRL. There is no difference at this level. And here, what are the expected number of journals, number of journal articles, etc. So as you see here, so we are not really giving a number here really to force you to go beyond that number, but it is important for the reviewer and for the committee to see where are you going with your research and what are you expecting in terms of publications. Yeah. Because again, it is competitive programs and the reviewers have to select based on the information that you are putting. I hope I answered at least partially your question. But again, as I said, we definitely expect more publications in the programs that are not targeting the TRL and SRL levels. Yes, for sure. These is not difference. And the committee and the reviewers are aware about this, definitely. Yes, I don't see other hands. So Karim, if you see other hands, so do not hesitate to open from your side, but I have only, yes, I don't see other hands. So please do not hesitate. So we still have probably 1 or 2 minutes. So we are at the end of the process. If you have any questions, so do not hesitate. Yeah, I think I have Haneen also. So yeah, you can. Okay, you are unmuted, Haneen. Please go ahead.
I was muted by mistake. I'm not sure what happened. The other part of my question was regarding the postdoc grant. I think this one is only for those graduating this semester, right? So can we negotiate the start date to have it like for those graduating next semester in fall?
What do you mean? It's limited to those who are graduating this semester? You mean this semester it is by the end of the year, right? By the end of this academic year.
So you put the start date for the postdoc, as you can see in the second table, in fall 2022. So I assume it will be in September. But for those graduating in fall, can there be a negotiable start date for them to start by January 2023?
Good question. Actually, this call is expected to be a yearly call. So it means that this is the global information, let's say that. Those who missed the deadlines of this year, definitely, they can be, let's say, they can apply for the next call. So this is the first important thing. The second is here. So the stage one is the research proposal submission. So this is internal. So this is the colleagues, the researchers, and faculty. They propose their application, the full application actually, and then the committee will look to this, and they will select the winning applications, the winning topics, let's say, in spring, by the end actually of spring. And then those who are selected, they can go for step 2, which is finding a candidate and inviting him to submit his application, etc. And it is, definitely, it is by fall. Here, deadline for application. So the deadline will be this summer, 22, and the shortlisted is beginning of fall. Yes, beginning by fall, we will give you the shortlisted candidates, and they will come right after. And actually, yes, it means that those who are really after this call, etc. After fall, definitely they will not be able actually to participate in the first batch. Because as you see, the process starts in spring. You see, as soon as the topics have been selected, so from spring, it will open in spring, and it will close actually in the summer. So if they are not able to submit their application by summer, it means that it's difficult to include them in this call. For sure. So to make it short, I was also revising the dates. Sorry, that's why I'm a little bit long in my answer. To make it short, yes, if they are not ready before the spring, before the summer, then it's too late for this year, and then they can submit the next year if the topic of the colleague is accepted for the next year. Probably I was not very clear, but did you understand my answer? Okay, so actually, as I said, it's a yearly initiative. So if really cannot make it now, it will be very difficult actually to include them or to delay for 6 months for specific cases. We have a question from Dr. Ahmed Owaisu. Fadal, Doctor. So we will take 2 questions. So Dr. Ahmed and then Dr. Sophia after Dr. Ahmed. Please go ahead, Dr.
Abdulaziz, Dr. Abdulali, and other colleagues. Thank you for the great initiative in organizing this awareness session. I'm not sure whether you can hear me.
Yes, we hear you, Doctor.
Oh, okay. Yes, so thank you. I have a question which I'm not sure whether it's relevant, but I received also similar question from colleagues. It has to do with external grants. The last cycle of the Europe grant the undergraduate research experience program, the last cycle. Is there any information in terms of when they will announce the outcome?
Sorry, I did not hear you. Is it, you are talking about the NPRP 14?
No, the Europe undergraduate experience program.
Europe.
Yes.
Yes, probably I leave this to my colleague in charge of the KNRF grants. I don't know if Khulud is with us. So please, Khulud, if you are there, you can probably answer this question. It's specific about the KNRF and the deadline, actually, when they are making the announcement. So do you have any detailed information about this? Let's check first if Khulud could be.
Dr. Abdulaziz.
Yeah, تفضل دكتور.
So just to answer Dr. Ahmed, in fact, the last cycle of Europe was cycle 28. We did not really receive any information about cycle 29. So cycle 28 has been activated already beginning of January. So all the awarded cycle 28, Europe's cycle 28 are currently active. So I don't think there are really any calls pending at the moment or open by QNRF. So cycle 29 is not yet announced or open by QNRF.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdelhali, about this clarification. And thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Last question. Yes, تفضل.
Yeah, Dr. Abdulaziz, we have just a couple of questions through the chat box, so I will go through them. So the first one is about the recording of this session. You know that Karim kindly has, is recording the session. Is it possible to share the recording somewhere on the blog or a link, or Karim could send the link?
I propose that we make it on the blog, as we are talking about the blog.
Yes.
And I think it will be for benefit of all the people. So yeah, definitely, we will put the link on the blog. I propose that we put it.
Yes, we have also a question from Dr. Echem. So, she has used the initial. If I got one internal grant last year, can I apply for one more this year, Dr. Abdulaziz?
Yeah, actually, in general, no. If you have a running internal grant, so you have to wait until the end of this internal grant to start another one. So this is the rule.
Yes.
We are making an exception related to the IRCC, which is International Initiative, etc. You can have a running internal grant and you can apply to an IRCC. So I don't know, to be honest, for next year if we have to continue to this, but right now, yes, you can have only in specific cases. But please check the requirement. This is very important. This is written in all the grants calls. So just check the requirement and you will see if it is possible or not.
So here, Dr. Abdulaziz, I advise the colleagues, if you apply in 2021, you can reapply in 2023. Yeah, 2023. So you cannot accumulate two grants. So if the grant is ending in 2022, December 2022, you can apply now for the new grant that will start 1st of January 2023. But if your grant is running until 2023, you cannot apply this year. You need to wait until next year. If in doubt, I echo Dr. Abdulaziz, you need to contact us to clarify this so we don't miss out any opportunity. Dr. Abdulaziz, I'm just looking at the other questions. About the postdoc, you just replied to it. And for the foundation program, I think you have replied to that one directly live. So what about RRC02, the institutional track or on the fly track?
Yeah, very good questions. Yeah, as you can see here, so we have for the IRCC, the International Research Collaboration Co-Fund. This is a partnership with the foreign universities. So we have the regular call is called track 1. It means that it's a competition, it's open. You work on your proposal with a partner, and then you submit, etc. Like any project, you have the timelines, you have the documents that you need to fill, etc. This year, under the track 1, we are opening also. So you have the regular track 1, and you have a very special call called CD IRCC Sustainable Development Goals. So this one is focusing on the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Why? Because we are working, Qatar University is part of an academic network about the collaboration, about SDGs, etc. And here we wanted to strengthen the relationship with that network and beyond, by the way. I mean, you can also find another partner about SDG beyond this network. So we will add a small sentence. I requested also my colleagues to add clarification about that network. So if you are interested in working with partners from that network, so you just click on an email. It will appear later, probably in 1 or 2 days. So you just click on that email and you contact them just to see if there is someone from the network who is interested in working with you. So here, this is a special one. What I wanted to say that this one is really for this year, a special call related to the SDGs. So just go in details and you will have all the information about that. The institutional one is not open for the LPIs, I mean for the faculty, etc. This is for the colleges and the centers. So this one is designed to strengthen the relationship or the strategy of the colleges and the centers. So it should come through the college or the center himself. It means that if with the college you have an idea of or vision for the next 5-10 years to work with a high-level institution somewhere, and you are really convinced that this is very important for the future, and you convince the college or the center, so it should come through the college or the center. Or also the center himself or the college himself can propose an IRCC related to the strategic track. So this one is on the fly, as we said, so at any time the college or the center can propose, but it is not a competitive one. This is negotiation actually between the Office of Research Support and the colleges and the centers, based definitely on a review, etc. So the process is the same, but the submission should come through the college or the center. This is a strategic one. So as an LPI, as a faculty or researcher, you should concentrate on track 1 this year and on the special call. I hope I answered the question, Dr. Abdel.
Yes, perfectly, Dr. Abdelaziz. And we had one on these rapid response from QNRF Cycle 2. The awards are pending, so which means that QNRF did not yet activate them, which means that we are waiting for them to basically release the funds. I respond to Dr. Abdullah, so it's not something to do with us not signing the contract. We sign these as they come. We are very happy to receive the money. We don't delay money because of signing a contract. It's just the money is not coming, you know. So this is not the only award pending from QNRF. ICRA has been awarded more than 6 months ago, and yet no money has been released. Many calls have been, we don't know, you know, no expected dates. We don't know. We are in total expectation. We don't know. We have no timeline or information. So that's really unfortunate. But we are also dependent on what QNRF tell us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Abdel Ali. Do you have any other question? Otherwise,
Dr. Aziz, we had Sofia Naima. I think she has
yes,
something.
right. This is what I mean. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we forgot about the chat. Sorry, doctor.
Yeah.
You can hear me, guys.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. So I have first a general question. You just mentioned that if I already have a fund, you have a grant, you have to wait until it's ended to submit a new proposal. But my understanding is that the maximum number of allowable grants per faculty member is 3. Now, how does this? Why should you wait for one grant to end to start another one? This is something I'm missing something here. Can you explain it to me, please?
You mean for the internal grants, right? Not for the MPRTs and Canada, because
No,
they
no,
have their own. Yes. Yeah, actually, as you know, the budget is always limited, even if we say that we have the budget, but I mean, it's a limited budget for each one of the different grants, and definitely we have to have priorities. So the idea is to maximize, let's say, the chances for all the colleagues, for all the students, is to put some limitations on the number of submitted, because the number of projects that will be awarded by person, by by each colleague is definitely limited. So this is really limited to the budget limitation that we have. I mean, it's unfortunately we cannot do better, but right now we have to limit actually the number of submissions and the number of awarded per colleague.
Yeah, just to make sure that
I would just like to ask to add that 3 roles include LPI and PI in one cycle.
Yes, thank you very much for the clarification. Yes.
So now the maximum number of grants that one internal grants that one faculty member can have is 1 grant running at one time?
Yes, exactly. But again, no, 3 is the submission. It means that this year, if you have no grant running, you can submit 3 grants in different fields. But the number of the grants that you can run, that you can have them active, in general is 1. However, there are some exceptions for example, the short programs. For example, we had 2 or 3 recently. A CAFCO program, for example, was open for 5 members. Last year was we had the ERG, the emergency grant related to the health and COVID, etc. That was one was open, if I remember, for 3 or 4 members. So those ones, if you get that one, it should not penalize you on having a bigger one for 2 years. So when it's short, there is no constraint on it. You can always add it on the grant that you have. But if it's high impact, you want a new high impact, but you have already a collaborative one running, then there is a conflict. It means that you cannot have these 2 ones running in the same time. But again, just be aware that when you submit now in the spring, the project will start in January in 2023. I mean, keep in mind that any project that you are having now active until December 2022 is not an issue. It means that if you have a project running until December, you still, this year now, you can submit, because if you are awarded, it will start in January 2022. So there is no conflict.
Okay, and then I would like to know also what types of grants are included within these limitations, like the postdoc, let's say, is it included within these restrictions or the maximum number? So if I apply for, let's say, if I get the 1 postdoc, this means that I cannot apply to any other.
No, actually, I don't have everything in mind, but definitely, please go and read the requirement of the call of postdoc. They will tell you. Let me open it.
It will be there. No, don't bother. If it is there, don't waste the time of the others. I will check it. If it is there, it's fine.
Yeah, no, but I think your question is very, very important. So here, if I go to the guidelines, actually, I will see the constraints on this call. Let me open it. Yeah, so etc. If I go to the eligibility, of course, eligibility. This is what I see is only this constraint. So only one submission per faculty researcher is allowed for this postdoc call. And I don't see any other constraint related to the author project. The submitted research proposal must align. Yes. So no, this one clearly you can propose and have it even if you have a running program.
Okay, and does this count toward the maximum 3 that I'm allowed to submit?
Yes, in terms of submissions, yes.
In terms of submission?
Because this is also considered as an internal grant.
Okay, I see. And then for the T2RP, also it might be, I have to check the constraints. Also, it might be if I get this, I cannot get any other
Yes.
grant.
Yes. This is a simple answer that I can give you. Yes, because this is not an individual, because this one is having an individual person to work with you. This is a real project where you have a team, you have a lot of requirements related to the composition of the team. So it's exactly like the high impact, it's exactly like the collaborative. So yes, this one is in conflict of having another one running, yes, for sure.
Whereas the visiting fellow might be the same as the postdoc conditions.
Exactly, that's individual, so it has no impact on the number of projects. And the visiting is the simplest one because postdoc, you are bringing him or her for 2 years. The visiting is between 1 month to few months. I don't remember exactly, but 1, 2, 3 months, I guess. So it means it's very short. It should not impact your project of 2 years. Yeah.
And if it has no constraints, this means that I can have more than one visiting professor.
No, I think, I mean, looking to the budgets that we have and all the constraints, no, I think it's not easy for us to how we say, to reward or to award more than one per faculty. And here it's more constrained than what we are saying. Because of the limitations of the invitations, we are actually limiting this to one proposal per college or center. It means that your college or your center will make his homework internally to select the one that they propose for this year. It's simply because of the budget limitations. So we have, I think, 18 units, and the number of invitation should be around or a little bit less.
Yeah. Oh, I see. And even in terms of submittals, this counts toward the maximum 3.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Just one last question about the postdoc.
Sorry, just to clarify this, it is not the submission to your college because it should come through the college. Suppose that you are 5 or 6 proposals in the college, and then they submit to us, or you submit to us through your college only one. So then we count only that one. I mean, it is internal to the college or center, so we don't see it. I mean, we don't count that as a submission for us.
Okay, so if I submitted to the college and it didn't go through, it was not, it doesn't go through, then you don't count it.
No, because it's not visible for us. We count only what is visible for us and what is submitted through the submission system.
I see. Just one last question about the postdoc grant. There's no possibility to put a budget, so it's only the fees for a postdoc, right?
Right.
Then
exactly, yeah.
There's a technical question, because if you're working in a scientific field or engineering field, you cannot have a postdoc working for 1 or 2 years without doing any either lab analysis or field analysis, or probably building some equipment, constructing some equipment to test. So there's no way you can do science project with a postdoc without, material and transportation costs and other kinds of costs. So
yes, I understand. Yeah. No, very good question. However, here it's really focusing on the person that you invite. I mean, that you select. Definitely, as we said from the beginning. So this is not how we say, there is no constraint on having another internal grant, for example, and you link the internal grant with, for example, you can have all the material things like that related or paid through your budget of the internal grant, and having the postdoc who will collaborate and benefit from that. Or it could be also an additional help from the college of the center, if they are really convinced that this is important. So definitely they may help also from that side. But unfortunately, the Office of Research cannot cover actually all the costs related to the project itself behind the postdoc.
Okay, thank you. Those were all my questions.
Thank you very much for these valuable questions. I think we don't have other questions, and we are really late. So thank you very much for all your questions and for the questions that you may ask later also. And I wish you, with my colleagues, all the best for your programs, for your projects. And we hope, inshallah, to see you very soon. And as we said, so we will put this a link to this exchange and the presentation on the blog itself. Shukran jazilan, and I thank also all my colleagues and for their help, Karim also for the IT, and thank you very much. Ma salam.